Alright guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to do the recessed strap connector. So the things that you're going to need for this, obviously a bag to put it on. I'm using my 14 by 4 inch ruler. Now because I've got this cool little stripe going on in here, I have a 2 by 3 inch piece and then a 1/2 inch by 3 inch piece. And I've already put some double-sided tape down the center. You're also going to need a rivet with a rivet cap and your rectangle ring and a removable texter or pen or chalk pen or whatever you want to do. So the first thing I'm going to do before I start marking anything on the bag is I'm going to fold both these sides into the center like this. And then I'm just going to lay this on top. Now, if you're super new to sewing, what you can do is grab some really skinny 1/4 inch or 6mm double-sided tape and put it on the back here. And this will just help secure it if you're super nervous about sewing little pieces like this, because I know they can feel a little bit intimidating. So I'm just going to lay that down in the center. And by double-sided taping it, it will stay in place. So I am on stitch length 4 because I want nice long decorative stitch lengths, and I'm just going to stitch 1/8 of an inch each side of that dark brown strip. I am not going to bother back stitching because we don't see any of it, so we don't really need to worry about it. It all gets tucked behind the bag. Now this particular method only works if you're doing it on a non-fraying fabric. If you're doing a fray version, you need to check out my Harlot video, and that does it the other way. So because I've done the embroidery, I am making sure that I can put strap connectors within the space. So I have worked out what size I need. You can actually move your strap connectors around your bag however you see fit. So mine's going to go right here like that. So I'm just going to draw a 1 inch line. You can see here it's a bit wet onto the bag, and then I'm going to take a craft knife. Sorry, that was the other thing we needed, a craft knife. And I'm just going to cut into the bag for the length of the line that I drew. Like that. So now you should be able to go all the way through. We've gone through all the layers and you should have a nice hole. So we want to put this right sides together. So we're going to put the stripe so it's facing upside down, and we're just going to feed this through the hole. So you've got just a little bit hanging out the bottom and you'll have more on top. Put your craft knife away now so that you don't hurt yourself. We're finished with it. So I'm just going to line that. I'm going to make sure that it's sitting straight, and I'm going to stitch above the top here. So we'll be catching the back and the strap, and we're going to stitch it down. So I'm going to stitch and back stitch. This won't be seen, but it's just to help really secure this so that we don't see the gaping hole that we just cut into our bag. So now that I've cut that, we're going to take our rectangle ring and feed it on. And then we're going to push this raw edge into the hole as well. Don't be worried about hurting it. It'll be fine. And then we're just going to pull it down until there's just a small amount showing like this. Now I'm just going to top stitch across here as well. So this is quite thick. So if you're in a domestic machine, you may even want to hand stitch it, depending on how well your machine takes the layers, because we're going through both layers of the strap as well as the bag foam, and any other interfacing you may have added. So that's just something to consider. So you may want to hand stitch it. You could just do like 3 or 4 hand stitches across the center there. And then I'm going to add the rivet. It is both decorative and it will give extra stability to your strap, because you never know how much weight someone's going to put in a bag. So I'm going to take my hole punch. This is a 2mm hole punch, and I'm just going to line it up in the center, which is in line with our little dark strip that we did, and punch a hole like that. Then I'm going to push the cap. I always push from front to back, but you can push back to front. It doesn't matter. If you're using single rivet caps, you need to push back to front. So single rivet caps are when it doesn't have the cap on this part. It's like a hole. So you put that behind so you don't see it. So I've just put the cap on the back of the post. And then I'm going to take my rivet press and squish it down. Is this the one I was doing? The other one? I think it was that one. I'm just going to squish them both because I wasn't paying enough attention. And so now that is secured, you've got 2 lots of stitching and a rivet to hold that in place.